I mean, we're right in the thick of it now, aren't we? I mean, we just had, really we're into the race season.
Yeah.
And we just had the Calgary Marathon.
Yep.
Weekend, the marathon, the half, the 10, the 5.
Yes. Yeah.
And your athlete, Bernard, third.
Third in the national championships.
Nice, in the half marathon.
In the half marathon, yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Quick shout out to Norm as well.
Okay, how did Norm do?
3:20.
Oh my gosh, brilliant.
So he took 1.5 hours off his marathon PR.
My gosh, that is fantastic. Wow, that's a good chunk to take off your marathon PR. Brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's cut to the chase.
Yes.
The other athlete in the trifecta is me, Malc. So let's get right to it, all right? Let's not beat around the bush. I mean, you know, it's no more Mr. Nice Guy. This is serious stuff now.
It is serious.
So the idea was to try and beat 21:05, and I ran a 24 minutes,
you did,
on the weekend. So let's get right to it.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Prediction was probably for under 23. That's what I was thinking.
Under 23.
Probably 22 something. Because you did that long run of the run of two halves, as I call it.
Yes. A run of two halves. Yes.
You ran the first half quick, and definitely indicated that you were capable of a sub 23. And I think that doesn't change. I mean, if you ran next weekend or weekend after, I would still be saying, you know, sub 23.
Okay.
But it was from a coach's perspective then.
Don't beat around the bush, Malc.
From the coach's perspective, I'm like, okay, I want to understand like what it was that happened during the race, and then we were talking earlier about it, and I'm trying to sort of piece together, okay, what it could be. Yeah. So
maybe just build on what we talked about.
Yeah. So.
It's quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, so you know, from your feedback, you're sort
I mean,
of
you said I was lazy, basically. That's not. No, that's not. Let's call it spade. You know, I didn't try hard enough. I had that on all my school reports. Yeah, just didn't try hard enough. No, but let's talk about maybe why. That would be it,
I sort of like, it's like you're a detective essentially as a coach. So you're saying, okay, what is it? This is it? This. So the first thing I sort of try and gather is like how hard you pushed or were able to push, and how does that compare to the maximum that you can possibly do?
Yeah.
But it seems like you gave it your best on the day, and for whatever reason,
I felt I did.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, your heart rate just wanted to kind of stick around a certain level.
Yeah, 152.
Right. Yeah.
That just seems to be my number.
Yeah.
That's it, 152. That's all I got.
Yes.
But you say there might be a bit more in there, right?
From my experience and my gut feel, having looked at the data, I think there's more there. So I think what it is more at certain levels of effort, certain percentages of your max, it can be that the brain just says, I'm good here, thanks. Like you can kind of just get stuck at a certain point. I think there's scope for doing a few things in the training to try and
12 beats more.
Yeah.
Right? That's what 12 beats more might be the little trick.
It could be. So it's just now looking at not just going through the motions of the training, but can we throw things in that will kind of force your heart basically to go a bit higher and say, don't be kind of comfortable here.
Yeah, I know. I think that's
like 85% is where you're comfortable, but we need a bit more. We need like 90-95%. So
is this some kind of a regulator? Is this something that's kind of like, is this regulator theory thing that?
Yeah, there's different concepts around it. Different camps of people believe different things. But what is known for sure is the deep part of the brain controls a very, very key structure we call the hypothalamus. And the job of that is basically primitive survival. So it doesn't do any difficult computation. All it says is it constantly measures, is there a threat to your survival at any point?
Okay.
And it can react more or less to different threats. And so that's a known given that's part of the regulation system. So
So the trick is to kind of maybe push through that.
A little bit.
Yeah. That's the trick, right?
And I think part of it comes back to all the years where you've run conservatively. Well, you've run back
long, slow, boring stuff.
Yeah. So it's going to be a process for us to get through that, I think.
Okay.
The other thing we were talking about, and I was sort of shedding some light on before, is that I really consider 5K to be what I call a red line race. It's kind of a balls out race. It's like once the gun goes, there's no, you just go hard, like,
okay.
And you kind of hang on in a 5K. You just ride the line all the way and hang on to the finish. So you're using a really high percentage of your max output in a 5K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Must try harder. Must try harder. The other thing the only other thing I'm going to say to you, okay,
yes.
no, I totally appreciate the feedback, and I got to take it on board. You know, I struggle in the heat. Now, it may be, but that may be a mental thing as well. Like, I just, you know, I find and it was warm. It was a 12 noon start.
It was.
You know, you're hanging about all the morning kind of thing. And then 12 noon, and it was, I don't know what it was, 22, 24, which I struggle in the heat a little bit. So, not to make excuses, as you know, I would never do that, Malc, but it was a warm day.
It was a warm day, and that will have an effect.
Okay.
And it's not the temperature that's key. It is the radiation from the sun that's key. So you can have a temperature where the air temperature is like 12 degrees. Doesn't matter. Like you will still feel like you're cooking if you're in direct sunlight. Okay. So the sun is really hitting you hard. And there was a lot of direct sunlight on Sunday afternoon. So
I did wear white.
Good.
White top, white hat.
Awesome.
And I tried to soak. What did I froze a bottle of water?
Yeah.
You know, so I'd have super cold water put on my hat. The problem was, by the time I got to the start line, it really hadn't melted.
Oh,
so there's a lesson learned there. I have to take the bottle out of the freezer a little earlier so I get that super cold water. But it was a learning experience. So so I think it's a case of what I call bad news, good news, good news. Okay, so let me just share that with you. Bad news, good news, good news. The bad news is 24. Still 3 minutes away from the 21, right? That's kind of the bad news. But the good news, Malc, I think we need to share this with the viewers. I have my finisher's certificate here. I'm just going to hold that up to the camera here, okay? And 24 minutes, but Malc, 41st of 1,827.
Yes.
Okay, not bad. And then placed 35th in my gender, which is male. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And first, out of 20 in my age group.
For your age group.
And I get a trophy.
No.
Yeah, I get a trophy.
Really?
Yeah. So I've got to go to the. No, I'm just saying, right?
Really?
I'm just saying. I got to go to the Calgary Marathon office, and apparently the top 3 finishers in the age groups. By the way, age group 60 to 64, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Get a trophy. That will be my second ever trophy, Malc.
Wow.
I got one. Oh gosh, in 2013, I ran a snowshoe marathon up in Yellowknife. Okay. And 7 hours. Yeah. Which is, as you say, my old running kind of style. Sure. But I got first place. Cool. For snowshoe marathons. This will be my second trophy. Wow. So I have a trophy cabinet.
Yeah.
Now, the moment there's just one in there, but this Malc, this will be number 2.
Very cool.
All right,
cool.
So bad news, good news, good news. You see what I'm kind of talking about?
And it's key. It's key, right? Like,
well, you got to keep motivating. You got to have something like, I think that's the one thing about setting goals is, I've got a goal, right? I'm shooting for this, to beat the PBs, but there's no saying that says shoot for the stars, land on the moon. Now I'm still after that, I'm still after the stars, right?
Yes.
But I think I landed on the moon. Do you sort of agree with that?
I get what you're saying there, definitely. I mean, for me, like, what I like is, like, during the goal period, which we have now this year, is just keeping the energy level up. That's right. Keep pumped. Right. Don't let it drop. Like, always keeping it up all the way.
No, that's why the Calgary Marathon weekend is so yesterday. It's gone. Like, let's not even. It's history, man. Right? That was good. Yeah. But now let's move on.
One of the interesting things, and this just like pops into my head right now off the hip. This is like actually a serious coaching point. Is that it might actually be beneficial for you in the longer runs, because the last 2 runs you got sort of stuck around this like low 150s heart rate. But if we can actually keep you at 152,
you know what? And I think we've seen an inkling of that. Well, first of all my marathon ultra running is all about hanging on for a long period. Yeah. And I think and we saw that maybe the other day when I did that long run where I ran super fast but managed to hang on And I got a feeling I can hang on quite good. Like I think I can at a certain level. And so I mean the 10K is going to be an interesting one.
It will,
right?
Yeah.
And let's talk about that, 2.5 weeks time.
Yep.
The Sporting Life 10K in Calgary. Apparently one of the fastest 10Ks around, point to point.
Yes.
And it's basically a downhill run. And I think that, obviously early morning start. So again, I'm sort of taking away some of the excuses, per se, or some of the issues like with heat and stuff. So I'm very much looking forward to that one.
I'd be intrigued because if you can hang in at like low 150s for a 10K instead.
Now that might be quite interesting. We'll get an interesting time. So so that's next on the agenda. Okay, so I think for the minute. The 5K kind of gets parked, right?
I think so.
Just for the minute.
To keep hammering away at it is not really going to work. I think the best thing we tend to find in running training is that you get like different types of running training kind of cross over and help the other parts of running training. So often the best thing is like not to hammer away at the same goal and the same distance, but actually often you get better results. You go away.
Mix it up?
Yeah, mix it up. So you go back, you say, okay, let's leave the 5K for a bit, let's start doing some 10K half marathon work. And often something there can trigger a change.
That'll get you
come back to the 5K and suddenly do better.
Yeah. That's kind of how I'm thinking. I think a little bit of variety will work. There's enough races in and around Calgary of the 5K, 10K, and half K distance. Well, especially 5K and 10K. You've got Malc, you've got Stampede Road Race, so there's a lot of them that we can potentially pop a 5 or a 10 in. As we move along through the process. And that was our plan anyway.
It was always like that we can keep it coming back and attacking the 5 multiple times.
So I mean, yes, okay. You didn't have to be quite that hard. No, I asked you to be, but anyway, that's fine. And so, I think injury-wise, I mean, good news. I mean, the ankle is it's there, but it's as you can see, it's not causing any issue. The back, having the back worked on the other day, which I think was a good move by Dr. Greg. The active release therapy loosened it up nicely, so I felt good going into the race. And that's huge, right? I mean, mentally.
Because that is, we've always said, and we've even seen in the early part of the year. Like that is the critical thing. Keep the momentum going. Just like keeping the energy going high, like through the year, it's also the same with the body. Like keep the momentum going with the body as well, all the time. As soon as we have an injury, we break that momentum. And it's really difficult then.
So just to finish off, looking at what you saw, what would you do different in the training then? Okay, I mean, this is why we meet one-on-one. This is why this isn't an online program. It's you meeting me. You go through it. We talk. What are you thinking about switching up a little bit to break through maybe that heart rate thing?
There's different things that we can throw at it. More aggressive and less aggressive stuff. The more aggressive kind of approaches I would probably give to younger runners who are and people who are running a bit.
We'll
quicker.
Talk off camera. No. We need to.
So what we'll do, we'll go with the less aggressive approaches. So the aggressive approach is we go to an athletics track and you just start smashing out intervals around an athletics track, like 400 meter intervals or whatever. I'm not going to go down that path. So a less aggressive approach, which I really like, and again, less exposure to injury and just works nicely with what you're doing, is that we start to tag on the end of workouts strides. So they actually become sort of a finish of workouts. And so it's quite a potent little thing to do. And you can do it like 2 times a week, for example. And so you would do like your easy run, I don't know, whatever.
60 minutes.
60-minute easy run, right?
At 5:30, and then what? And then what happens?
And then you kind of stop, give yourself about a minute or so to stop. And then you hit a bunch of strides. And I'm talking about 100-meter strides, basically.
Strides, you mean like big steps?
No. Strides is basically when you're running, you're not sprinting, but you're running fast, like 100 meters of fast running. But it's not a full-out sprint. It has to feel like
I'm in control.
You're in control, and it feels like it's comfortable. Like you're not straining at all. It's like a relaxed sprint. And what we do is I normally give people 4, and so you do 1, and then you can walk a little recovery, then you do another one. The idea is you don't burn yourself out.
At the end of this workout.
Right, at the end of the workout. And I don't know how many people know this or how many coaches practice this, but it's very, very potent. And we've got to a point where it's about the right time now
Okay, that's
to
interesting.
start throwing it into your training.
Okay, this is an interesting twist. All
And
right,
because we do it at the end of the workout, the chance of any injury or anything like that is dramatically reduced because you've already done a ton of work.
Okay.
But because you've done some work, it actually has more effect.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that we can hit. The other thing is, again, is still working on the warm-ups, like.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk. I mean, I did what I did, but what I want to do is talk about the next event. I really want to get it nailed.
Nailed the warm-up.
I want to get a real good warm-up
Yeah.
for this 10K because I really feel in my heart that the type of course, and everything is in my favor.
Yeah.
So it's time to do something. I think there.
Do something
so
big,
I want to get it right from the warm-up
Yeah.
to the race, and then obviously post-race.
Yeah.
So we'll have I think we need to really have that as a package.
And the way to do it is really sort of honing the warm-up during the fast session each week, which is tomorrow's session.
Tomorrow's session. Yeah.
And then when you go to the race, you've already honed it and you just execute the race.
Well, that's well
and
done as well.
I think that's part of the story as well, of
Okay.
kind of getting out of this sticking point with your heart rate. Is it could be that there's just not quite enough in the warm-up.
Yeah.
That your heart doesn't want to go one more step in the race.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it could be that we have to bring the heart rate up very quickly in the warm-up.
Okay.
And sort of like say what it does, it kind of changes that control that the heart wants to impose.
Interesting.
And it allows things to relax and give you an extra gear.
Great.
Then when you hit the race, the heart's not like, oh my goodness,
Okay.
shock.
Okay.
It's more like, oh okay, no, cool, we've just done this like 10 minutes ago, this is fine.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
a couple of things there, the strides and then also the warm-up.
Well, okay, well, I think let's leave it there, mate. And
Cool.
and I'm in. I'm okay. After I took the beating, I'm back. Energy's back up, and
Cool.
let's keep it going.